let's get into our first guest of the evening. He is an actor who, as I said, you've seen in many shows, Ginny and Georgia, Gen V, Davy and Jonesy's Locker, in films like Priscilla and Drive Back Home, which I really enjoyed Drive Back Home.
That's great.
And yeah, it's a great film. But he's here tonight to talk about the latest film that is coming out that he's in, adaptation of the graphic novel by Chester Brown, Paying for It, directed by Soo-Kin Lee. We really enjoyed it when we saw it at TIFF. We're really happy to have him here tonight. One of the best character actors in the business today, Dan Beirne. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you very much. You flatter me.
That's what I want. I
It's
want you to feel
100% true,
comfortable.
though.
It is true. And I want you to feel comfortable knowing that we really appreciate what you got going on.
I feel good. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you for having me. Delighted to be here, ready to geek so hard.
That's good. I know if there's
Perfect.
anybody out there that could, it'd probably be you. Definitely.
I
We
will
actually
not be soft geeking tonight.
no soft
Cut
geeking.
you
You
off.
know, that's right. You want to geek hard. You want to geek firm. That's just the way it
That's
is.
right.
Uh, later on the program, we're talking with Christian Brune, and in sound check, he told me to say hi.
Oh, wow. Hi to Christian. Absolutely. I love that. He later in the program, huh? So he's in the waiting room now. You could bring him in. We could all chat.
Unfortunately, no, he's coming to the waiting room later. He's
Okay.
yeah. I'm not going to
Well, we're
make him
live
sit
right
for
now,
an
right?
hour. Yeah, we're
Yes.
live. We're live on the air. Yeah.
Amazing. You take calls on this show? I'll take a call.
We take
Take-
emails, so we'll
Email?
see what's coming in. We'll see what's coming in. If
Hit
you
me
want,
with a question.
if you have any question for Dan, email us in
Yeah.
right now. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
we'll vamp until we get a question.
Of course. Oh my God. But of course, I said off the top here, we got to see Paying for It at TIFF. It's an adaptation of Chester Brown's autobiographical graphic novel that, for you, it's an interesting part because you going into a film, you went into a film where you not only got a chance to talk to the person you're playing, you're being directed by the other person who lived through the event. You're shooting scenes in the house where the things happened, where just a simple story could lead to them. Soo-Kin just going over and going, yeah, here's the thing that actually I used in that moment, or this is the book that he
Yeah.
gave me that was drawn in. So what was it like? It must have been like, is that a great thing as an actor to have that much like hands-on reference material in a way?
For sure. Yeah. No, it was, you just felt very supported in the reality. I felt very, safe that things were true, that, she just had a really strong sense of the world and the story, and anything that was inauthentic could just be very easily caught. And it was honestly like very unusual and very helpful in unexpected ways.
I got to imagine the unusual part just because, on most other projects, whether they're, a lot of them are going to be fictional. So obviously those people aren't real. But the ones, if you have, you got the pressure. Like they're right there. Like, did you feel a sense of like, I got to like really bring it here because they know the truth? Or was it more or were you just continuously feeling relaxed and knowing that they can give you some guidance, further guidance or assistance along that path?
Well, that was certainly helpful, but there was also like the preliminary conversations with Chester where, he was just very, he made me feel really at ease in terms of like what I was doing. He was like,
Right.
because, it's not an impression because he's not a particularly impressionable guy. He's got like an interesting laugh that you can like do or whatever, and there's like a bit of that laugh in there, but it's more just like he's just extremely comfortable with himself, and that was what I had to pretend to do. And it went, it hit him as correct, and so him expressing that to me made me feel like, okay, I know what to do from here.
Right.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, now I think what really that's the film all the way around is the authenticity of the film that I think makes it like it really comes off the screen, like it really connects with the audience. Like when I saw it, I really connected with it. And we're talking about like, some, really deep stuff and really, important conversations, but it's
Mhm.
not like leading people a certain way. It's just presenting real people in this situation, and really showing sex workers as people and not having any agenda one way or the other on it. But I said this to Sukin when I talked to her back during TIFF, is that the film is essentially, in the end, a film about the importance of friendship, about not letting go of a good relationship just because it's changing. Was that something that appealed to you in the story of these characters?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that I have always been drawn to relationships that challenge general, maybe mainstream expectations, because of a, authentic spirit of connection, like just just like letting go of pretenses or expectations or just cultural constructs that sort of lead you in a certain way or make you see a person in a certain way, and just really sort of stripping that away and just being with someone and letting that be powerful and letting that sustain through whatever changes arise, and being and sort of listening to that, like that's very uh I think sometimes we kind of make movies that it's kind of like wish fulfillment in a way, right? It's like that's who I want, that's a way in which I would like to live. And so it was really very attractive to act that out, to see how that feels, and it was cool.
Yeah, one of the other things about this film that I really liked is the balance between, the more serious nature of certain elements, but also a little bit of the comedy that mixes into that. Most of my experience, to be honest with you, most of my experience with you has been more in that comedy lens and seeing you do funny roles and, and so on.
Yeah.
Was that something about this role that you really enjoyed? Was that kind of like bringing more of that mix into it? So it isn't just, oh, I'm doing a drama piece this time, or I'm just doing a comedy. This has, a nice full round elements for your acting performance.
Yeah, I think I sort of learned something back in like 2015 when I did Fargo. Uh the scene I had was like facing off against a scary guy in a garage, and like I was like, "Oh my God, like Fargo, like I love everything about this." So I was like, I'm gonna do a serious acting job. And then as soon this was back in the day when you would go into the room with the person and audition.
Right.
So I went and did the scene, and she was like, "Wow, it was great. It was like serious, but I was like pretty funny, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it was funny." Like, uh, like because and that's what they were looking for. So it's like they wanted someone who it's like the serious with the funny mixed in. And it's like, I think I just realized it was like, when I try and be serious, it's just gonna have comedy mixed in. Like, I'm never gonna get away from it really. And sort of realizing that about myself, it was like, oh, this feels like I can, I can relax a bit, and just like, if something is serious, I can just really take it seriously. And then if they don't like something that's a bit funny, then they probably won't cast me, and that's fine.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We got
Yeah.
an email in from Eric N that says, "Hey geeks,
Yes.
the recruit A1, love it. Hey to Dan,
Okay. That's
he
Christian
is."
Brune.
Yeah, that's Christian Brune. "Hey to Dan, he is in everything.
Right.
Love you guys."
Oh,
Yes.
And like that's the
wow.
thing. That's the thing. It's
It
like
is
it's
true.
funny. We had Jalen Thora Brooks on here last year talking about Davy and Jonesy's Locker, and
Jalen. Love
and the
Jalen.
two of us had a conversation about the fact that you turn around and it's like Canadian TV show, bam, there's Dan, or like popping up in something like Priscilla. It's like, oh, there's Dan, and it's
Yeah.
kind of become. I used to have this joke that it's like it's not Canadian unless Gordon Pinson shows up in it, and now I feel like it can't be shot in Canada without Dan Beirne making an appearance.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Tax Credit. That's me. I'm a little. If you need to save money by hiring local, look no further. I have
Really?
your I have your answer.
No,
But
it's
like,
so true because like
yeah.
looking at your IMDb, for example, you know, just the way it displays it, like I like the first 20 credits are all within the last 2 years, and I'm only 20
Yeah,
credits, and that's 2 years. Like, dude, like I know
it was a
you're
hot
standing,
run.
yeah, you're standing right now. I'm not sure how. Like, do you have
Well,
crutches
that's the
hidden
thing. We've
below you,
actually
holding
we've
you up?
actually been trying. We've been trying to have Dan on the show for like two
True.
years now. Anytime I've reached out to people connected with Dan, they've always been like, "He's working," and
And
it's
I've been
like it
well, I've been
shows you're working. Like you
well, I've been
are.
trying to get on the show, and I'll be honest, with you, I've been geeking too hard. I couldn't
That's
get
That
it.
on.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
You
That's
know,
fair.
I had to just, I had to really take a step back. Yeah. Speaking of crutches, I'm in a show. I'm in a couple of shows with crutches because I broke my foot during shooting, and they were like, "Okay, character's got a broken leg. Let's go." Uh, so Gen V, if you know that show
Yeah.
on Prime, yeah, my character shows up with a pair of crutches, and that was just them being like, "All right, sure, yeah, he's got crutches, yeah, roll."
My God. So you don't even get injury time. Like that's it's just they're just like roll them out.
Yeah,
My
No,
God,
I-
man.
they need the
That's
tax credit. That's what he said, right? Like that.
yeah, that
He said
doesn't wait around.
no.
That doesn't wait around. No, no. Clock's ticking on the tax credit. I could have said, give the part to someone else. And in fact, I did. I said, if you want to recast me, because we haven't shot yet, I will take the hit. And they were like, no, guy's got crutches. It's fine.
that's the thing. You're in demand, man. People want you. They want Dan
Well,
Beirne.
they might have been too far down the run, but too far down the road. But who knows?
No,
It's
man,
fitting,
it's just you. They just want you.
They just want
Just
Dan.
embrace
That's what
that.
it comes- Exactly.
Embrace the
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Everything's coming
No,
up Dan Beirne. That's the way it
Yeah.
works. We got an email in from Don D that says,
yes.
"Was
Come on.
Dan in music before?"
Was Dan in music before? Wow, interesting question from the Geek Hard community. I have an answer for you, Don. I was not in music, but I was music adjacent. I used to write for a music blog called Said the Gramophone. It still technically exists, saidthegramophone.com. And it was one of the first music blogs. It was my friend Shawn Michaels. He's a Giller Prize winning author. And we were a pretty prominent Canadian blog for a while. And so my name was sort of in the music scene, but I was never a musician. I'm not very good at guitar at all. So that may be what you're thinking. And funny tidbit, the movie Y2K that just came out,
Right.
there is a scene in there where the main character says, because it's set in whatever, early 2000s, and he's like, I'm starting a music blog. It's called like Spoke the Gramophone or something. It's like,
It's very
it's,
close.
I mean, it's like clearly they read our blog. So anyway, that's the answer, Don. Thank you for the question.
So you say that you're not really that good at guitar. So you do play, but just
But
occasionally.
extremely badly and privately. And actually, I don't even really play anymore. Like
Oh, no?
I sort of stopped. I just gave away my electric guitar to my friend Roger. Shout out.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's well. To be fair, like we've just mentioned, you've done 4,000 credits in the last 20 days. So like it's clear you don't have time to play guitar. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after we do this, I am shooting a scene right over there. So yeah, I don't have time. I'm sorry.
Oh, but in actuality, you're going to a Q&A tonight for paying for it, correct?
Yes, I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to make it. But Sookian's there, so
Okay.
it will be handled. There's currently an audience being delighted by paying for it at the Scotiabank Theatre in Toronto. But I'll try my best.
All right.
That's
Good
awesome.
stuff. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. So obviously, Dan, we've been joking about, like how many things you've been in and stuff like that. And we had a chance to look at Davey and Jonesy's locker last year. And
Nice.
I just wanted to hit a little bit on that because your character in that is insane on multiple levels, to be clear,
Mhm.
for anybody who hasn't seen the show yet, because it does delve in multiple realities and dimensions. So that's just to give you a sense, because you play multiple versions of your character.
Mhm.
That had to have been a lot of fun to be able to take a singular character and then just like, okay, what kind of weird twist can I put on this character in this universe or this universe, even beyond some of the physical changes that they made to your character at some points.
Yeah, I mean, it was that was crazy. Because you know she could only like Ebony Rosen, genius writer behind the show, creator and everything, could only like create and write down so many, you know, and like give personality to so many. Like there's just not like reading the script, you can't care about the like 65 Schneiders that you're seeing in the thing. So like eventually when we went to shoot them, it was like it was kind of like, oh no, I have to do like 25 characters like before lunch. Um, because we had to shoot them all at the same time. Like, and so it was like, okay, now it's the next guy and like the hat and I'm trying to do the next thing. So I did not appreciate how exhausting that would be.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Oh,
yeah, you did a great job in that.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of
Thank you
fun,
very
that
much.
show.
Thank you.
But when it comes to popular TV shows, there's a lot of fans out there chomping at the bit for Ginny and Georgia season 3. Of course, the release date just dropped. It's coming in June.
Yeah.
I gotta
June
say,
1st.
you know, on that show, of course, you played the voice of reason in the mayor's office, but also such an interesting dynamic with Alex Malari Jr., since he basically has been lying to you, and I think it was the end of the second season where your character found out.
Yeah, yeah. And here's a thing that this is an exclusive. This is a Geek Hard exclusive.
Yeah.
But that scene where Alex Malari Jr. tells Nick about the lie, etc., was never in the original script. It was supposed to be that everything gets revealed at the wedding. Nick goes to the wedding, etc. But I was exposed to COVID, and they would not let me come to shoot at the wedding. They were like, there was a bunch of people, in fact, that couldn't go and shoot at the wedding because there was an exposure on set, and so they kept me away, and they were like, okay, 5 days or whatever, you'll be back on Monday, and they were like, we'll just shoot something on Monday, and so that's what we shot after COVID. It was like we had to explain why Nick was not at the wedding. Oh, because he finds out the lie and then doesn't go, and so that was like a last minute COVID change, but it ended up being like this really nice scene that never would have happened otherwise. So that was cool. But the dynamic with Alex was great. I mean, he's very fun to hang out with. He's a very very funny guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
He will sometimes write his. He has one of those one wheels that goes between your feet,
right.
and people go really fast, like they lean forward and they like go really fast on the street. He will sometimes ride that to work. Across the city.
Yeah, we had him on the
braver people than us, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
We had him on the show about a year ago, and I was surprised to find out that his choice of Texan accent was based on Dr. Phil. So,
Oh, that's another Geek Hard exclusive.
yes, exactly. Oh my God. Well, Dan, I gotta say, it's been a delight talking with you.
Thank you,
Really
Andrew.
enjoyed Paying Forward. It is a powerful film. It's one of those films which, you know, when you watch it, you walk away with questions and you have to think about things. It's, you know, it's got a lot of depth to it, but it is also a very sweet film at the same time, and very endearing. So the fact that it hits both so hard, both those levels, really, really enjoy it.
Thank you very much. And thank you to the audience for the questions. Thanks for having me. And see you next time.
All right. Have yourself a good night.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
thanks, Dan.
Bye.
Bye.